Several things happened in Britain this month that caught my eye. Straight-A student Courtney Wright, age 12, was sent home from the Bilton School in Warwickshire for wearing a Union Jack dress to school on Culture Celebration Day. Veils, head coverings, and kente cloth were just fine, but not the British flag. Students honoring the Welsh dragon, or flag of England, were also sent home. This month, the King of England, one of whose titles is Defender of the Faith, inaugurated the King Charles III wing of the Oxford Center for Islamic Studies. Here he is, grinning at representatives of a religion that has a mission to dominate the world.
How is it? Uncomfortable?
So good. I hope they're looking up.
Did he spend 50 years waiting in the wings for this? In Epping, just north of London, there have been days of protest after an illegal immigrant was charged with sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. Hadush Kebatu had sneaked across the English Channel just 8 days before, and of course, was living for free in a hotel. Demonstrators chanted, "Save our kids," and were tagged as far-right extremists. A lady spoke up about the need to protect our kids. How to do that? Send them home, along with equally loud shouts of "Stop the boats." These were ordinary Britons, furious at a failed government they are determined to fight. Epping's Member of Parliament, Neil Hudson, predicted a summer of riots.
But interestingly, I was talking to one parliamentary veteran. They are really, really worried. They said to me, "We are going to have a summer of riots. You can just feel it," they said. It is a tinderbox. That was the word used by Neil Hudson, the Conservative MP for Epping Forest, on this programme.
In response, just this week, Labour Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner admitted that we must tackle the profound impact of migration, adding that the government must understand real concerns people have. So, what's her plan? Billions of pounds of investment over 10 years in hundreds of the most deprived places to restore pride in people's local areas and improve people's lives. Is it humanly possible to be that stupid? The people of Epping aren't asking for handouts. They want Epping the way it was, a home for English people. The rulers of Britain seem to be pathologically incapable of understanding race or culture or religion. Jess Phillips is nothing less than the Undersecretary of State for Safeguarding and Violence Against Women and Girls. Look at how she answers a question from a man who calls himself Max K.
Afghans are 20%, according to these numbers, 20 times more likely to account for sex offence convictions than British people. Does that concern you?
I mean, like, I have to look across all of this data and think about where I have to really focus and target resources on the prevention work that I am determined to do.
Do you think there are people in this country who have a culturally very, very different view of women and therefore are more likely to be engaged in these kinds of activities?
Which culture doesn't have patriarchy and misogyny in it? Because
do you think?
I mean, like I have seen victims and perpetrators from every single walk of life.
Do you think we are a fundamentally misogynistic?
I tell you what the group of people who are most likely to abuse, that is men.
Afghans are 20 times more likely than white Brits to commit sex crimes. But for her, the problem isn't Afghans, it's men. This borders on insanity. These are the very people who look the other way when during what's called grooming, but should be called the industrial-scale rape of poor and working-class girls by Pakistani Muslim men, covered up because the authorities were terrified of being called racist. That was at the height of Me Too, when feminists bellowed about toxic masculinity and rape culture, but called you a bigot if you pointed out that foreign brutes were gang-raping white 11-year-olds. And there are more foreigners all the time, despite strong majorities of voters who say they want no more. The top blue line in this graph is total immigration by year. From 2014 to 2019, it was about 800,000 a year. Already a huge number in a country of 65 million. In 2016, many people voted for Brexit because they hoped that would mean fewer immigrants. But no. There was a little dip during COVID, and then the number soared to more than 1,200,000 a year. It just came down under 1 million last year. Mass immigration is what gives rise to headlines like, "White Britons will be minority in UK within next 40 years, new report suggests." Current update, in 38 years, in 2063. Sometimes it seems like whites are already a minority. Here are some mayors of major British cities, all Muslims. I'm sorry, but it revolts me to see foreigners dressed in these ceremonial robes of office, topped by a little muzzy hat like Mohammed Asaduzaman, mayor of Brighton and Hove. And you better not complain about the Great Replacement. A man made a video like this one.
So the flag adventure continues, and today we're in Bethnal Green. Bethnal Green starts off strong with the high street completely covered in all of the Palestinian flags. You can see the zebra crossing once again, a staple for the series. Domino's as well has the Palestinian flags. And I'll tell you what, the Palestinian flags per meter, or as I call it, the PFPM, is pretty high in this area, so definitely worth a visit.
Except that his commentary was different. Look at this crap. You let them into the country, and this is the shit they come up with. That got him arrested for a hate crime investigation, though it was later dropped. You remember this fellow, Axel Rudakubana, who just a year ago launched a slasher attack at a children's dance class in Southport. He killed, from left to right, Elsie Stancombe, 7 years old, stabbed 85 times. Alice Aguiar, 9 years old, number of stab wounds not reported. And Beebe King, 6 years old, stabbed 122 times. He also stabbed 8 more children and 2 adults who tried to stop him. Number of wounds not reported. At least a few Brits don't take kindly to this sort of thing, and some got frisky. Bernadette Spofforth posted on X, adding, "If this is true, that the killer was a recent asylum seeker." This turned out not to be true, and she deleted the post. But 5 policemen, 3 squad cars, and a prison van showed up to arrest her. She was held in a concrete cell for 36 hours and released on bail, on the condition that she not use social media. Since getting back on, she has become a free speech advocate.
It seems like it's been decided it's better to stop questioning. It's easier to ban dissent, and that way you can stop the public spreading unapproved news amongst ourselves. And many people still believe that if they allow the government to micromanage their lives and be their single source of truth, then things will be okay. Until one day they don't agree with their government, and they find it isn't okay because they can't speak of it.
Good luck with that. Britain is so terrified of free speech that 9 years ago it banned me from the country. Let's get back to His Royal Highness. Some people think he's a closet Muslim. In 1993, he said, many of the traits on which modern Europe prides itself come to it from Muslim Spain. Diplomacy, free trade, open borders, the techniques of academic research, of anthropology, etiquette, fashion, various types of medicine. He went on, Islam is part of our past and our present in all fields of human endeavor. It's part of our own inheritance, not a thing apart. Islam might be better than Christianity because Islam can teach us today a way of understanding and living in the world which Christianity itself is the poorer for having lost. By this he means a unified view of the universe, which no doubt all Muslims have. The king took lessons in Arabic so he could study the Quran in the original and understand inscriptions in mosques and at museums. He also warned before he was crowned that although his title would be Defender of the Faith, he would consider himself Defender of Faith. Some will say he just does what his overlords, the Jews or the globalists, tell him to do. I don't think anyone could make him talk this way and study Arabic. This guy is his own kind of cuckoo bird. The country seems to be slitting its own throat with more energy and enthusiasm than any other. During our period of BLM madness, when we were pulling down statues of white men all over the country, Britain was the only place that merrily followed suit. Edward Colston, Robert Baden-Powell, William Beckford, Thomas Picton, Robert Milligan, even Winston Churchill had to be boxed up for fear he would be vandalized or torn down. We have pulled back from the precipice, but Britain has not, nor does it have a political party that understands anything. Nigel Farage of the Reform Party angrily rejects remigration and bans any talk of race. Britain is the land of my ancestors, and it grieves me to see it dying of self-slaughter. Who today would dare sing "Rule Britannia"? Or words like these: land of hope and glory, mother of the free, how shall we extol thee who are born of thee? Born of thee? What about Packies? And could anyone sing seriously about a stern and silent pride, not that false joy that dreams content with what our sires have won? The blood a hero sire hath spent still nerves a hero's son. Blood, heroes, sires, sons, that's toxic masculinity. There's also a 1939 song called "There'll Always Be an England." There may be a place that's called that, but unless the Brits are careful, it certainly will not be English.